Hi, I'm Nigel Bellis, and welcome to my late night romantic piano channel. I wanted to talk briefly today about inspirations for music, and I was going to show you three images that really capture, I think, the music that I'm trying to portray. First one is this painting I bought a few years ago. I don't actually know who the artist is. I believe it's somebody in Mexico, and I just bought it in a regular department store. But there's something about it that I find really romantic and nostalgic. And you see the musicians up on stage. I could imagine myself as that piano player, playing that kind of music, romantic, slow. That just means a lot to me, and I look at that painting often, and it just inspires me no end. A couple more I've created with AI. Cuban inspiration, Latin jazz inspiration. Here's one that I created with just a Havana street scene, supposedly in the 1950s. And when I watched those old Cuban films about the casinos and parties there and the way everyone was dressed up and the great floor shows, something really exciting and vibrant that gets me going musically there. Not just on the high-end, more expensive side of things. Then you go down to the sort of the Cuban rundown bar where people are still partying. And this was another image that I created on AI. And again, there's a certain magic to it, I think. I would love to have been in the bar that night. So, it's very difficult to explain where inspirations come from, but sometimes if you can look at an image, you can see the connection there. I also write a lot of sad songs, and I don't sort of set out to write a sad song most of the time. I have had some sadness in my life, and I can sort of call on those emotions to help me create a song. So maybe there's some truth to you have to go through certain things in life to reach a certain point. I remember interviewing once Michael Masser, who's a great composer who wrote a lot of songs for Whitney Houston. He was in a troubled relationship, and he said when that relationship ended, the hits just dried up. So it's that same kind of idea that you have to be in an emotional certain place, I guess, to create that type of song. Now, obviously, that sort of sadness is not going to help you much if you're trying to create an exciting, vibrant dance track for the latest generation. No, you have to be in a completely different mindset when you're working on songs like that. But definitely your inner emotions can take you to places that are difficult to explain sometimes. When I play my tracks back sometimes, it's a bit of a mystery to me where some of the ideas came from and where some of the chord progressions came from, because it almost feels like somebody else is playing it, not me. One thing about a lot of my tracks is that they are one-offs. Now, not always 100% one-off in the sense that I just sit down and play the entire song and it's done, although that does happen fairly often. Usually I'll have a general idea for a song and I'll practice it a couple of times to make sure it's working, the chord progressions and things like that. Then I'll sit down and record it. Now, 95% of the time, that will be the best version and recording of that song that I will ever make. and it's up to you to decide how good or how bad it is. But I will try and play the song again on certain occasions, and generally speaking, I'll never be able to play it as good as I played it that first time. What I will do is make some corrections occasionally. I make mistakes, as many pianists make mistakes. But I know what a mistake is, and I can hear the mistake. So if I play, for instance, a B flat instead of a B, I will go in afterwards and correct it. There is a difference, I think, between, well, certainly is a difference between being a performance pianist and a recording pianist. And a recording pianist, you know, you can sit there and correct things as you go, bar by bar, if you need to. And I remember seeing an interview, for instance, with Hans Zimmer, the famous movie composer, and in that he really said that he didn't see himself as a get-on-stage performance keyboard player. He was more a studio guy, but when he was pushed to go out, obviously on tour and things, he did get it to a level where he felt comfortable with. But he definitely saw himself as more of a studio performer than a live stage entertainer performer. Anyway, those are just some random thoughts on the way I process things and the way that my music comes out. I'll have more as time goes on. And I hope you found some of that useful and revealing in explaining where my music comes from. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to hearing your comments.